Whether you like it or not, boxing is an ego-driven sport. Long story short, but the neurologist says to me, I'm surprised you're not paralyzed.
Are you confident or just stubborn to keep turning up?
I was deluded.
Today, I'm here with CJ, and it's a pleasure to be here. I'm really excited about this one. I've had a couple of opportunities to, train, with CJ, back when we was doing some unlicensed boxing. And it's been emotional, for me along my boxing career when I go all the way back, which was when I first started. I was amateur boxing. My brother was training in Loughborough, John Skillen, for years, but I didn't have that discipline or focus to keep going back to, the gym. So, but boxing always stood with me. That's why I came back to the gym when I was 26 and did a couple of years training, and I did some fights. But boxing has been a part of me for years because it kept me out of trouble, kept me away from the streets. Like, there was a guy called Ian that used to come and pick me. He lived in Rothley, but he used to come and pick me and my brother up and then drop us to Loughborough every day and then drop us back and then drive back to Rothley. So, I respect to Ian, this man. He kept me out of a lot of trouble, but he did it because he just believed in my brother. Mainly my brother, not me, but he believed in my brother. My brother was serious, back in the day. And it's something that I've always been in love with. So to do this one with you, CJ, means, it means a lot. It does mean a lot. And I know with the podcast being built under pressure, for me, I really wanted a boxer to come in, because that world is all pressure. There's pressure in all different shapes and sizes, different angles, different lenses. And to have you here today, means a lot. So first and foremost, thank you for, coming on, today.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, no, that's good. And look, it's not, it's not all about success. So this whole podcast with being built under pressure, it's not all about success, and it's not about, how you feel. It's about how you think, how you decide, how you lead, and all when things actually matter. And I think that's what's really, really important. So I'm gonna cut it. I want you to kind of let everybody know who you are, okay? And yeah, who you are. How do you usually explain yourself? How do you introduce yourself, to people without overthinking it? How would you introduce yourself to, everyone?
I'd say my name is CJ. Challenger, depends on who's asking. I might give you my government.
Yeah.
But I say I'm a professional boxer, and that's what I lead with. But naturally, in the back of my mind, as soon as I say that, there's so much more to me as an individual. But we'll get into that further down the line. But I lead with I'm a professional boxer.
Okay. And how long have you done boxing for?
I've been professional for. This will be my 10th year professional. I started boxing, let's say 4 years before that, 4 or 5 years before that. So let's call it 14, 15 years, all in. But I used to kickbox before that. So I've always been in combat. And then, the natural progression was to boxing. And then next thing you know, I wanted to be a world champion.
Okay. All right. When did it stop being a hobby? So if you go all the way back, because you got involved in it, when did it stop being a hobby and become, this is what I want to do, this is...
I think, year 10, how old are you when you're year 10, year 11? Like 14, 15?
Yeah, 14, 15.
So back then, in school, I remember the teachers will always drop to me oh, what are you going to do when you leave school? What do you want to do at college? What do you want to do at university? And so on. And I just thought, I just want to fight. That's it. And then the amount of teachers that would say to me, no, but what do you want to do as a real job? And I used to look at them sideways thinking, what do you mean real job? I take things quite personally. So if you tell me I can't do something, now I'm going to go out my way to make sure I do it.
You're going to prove
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then anyways, I'm thinking, what do you mean real job? So that was it from there.
So
that's exactly what I was doing.
So they thought you was delusional.
Yeah. And it fueled me. And you know what I'm saying? I'm here.
Yeah. I call it calculated delusion.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so there
Do you
was
know what
obviously
that-
there was systems and go on, you go first.
It's interesting you say that because recently I've been along the line of that I've really accepted my delusion. I understand that I am, compared to Tom, Dick, and Harry, I'm deluded, bro. But until you can prove to me that I can't do what I say I'm gonna do, I'm staying deluded. You know what I'm saying? But then that same delusion, I might fall short sometimes, and I might succeed. But even when I fall short, I'm still probably doing a little more than what you thought I could do. So to me, my delusion will propel me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, the delusion is the dream. So I say that's more of I saw it first. So you're the only person that could see that vision or that
Yeah.
dream. But
I
you had
like
the
it.
calculated systems, processes,
like
and
it.
measures in place to achieve that dream that a lot of people couldn't see.
Yeah, I like
So
that
that's
a lot.
pressure. So let's go back to year 10, year 11.
Mm.
From that moment there, that was a big pressure moment.
Yeah, on reflection, it was. At the time, I think maybe bringing back my delusion, I didn't feel no pressure because that's what I was doing, and I don't care what you say. That's what I'm doing. But now, maybe I'm a little bit older. With my mature mind, maybe that is the pressure that I probably set on myself 24/7. That so and so thinks I can't do this. Watch me, and that pressure, like that's something I carry on a daily basis.
So do you think that gave you the competitive advantage to execute the discipline, let's say, at that level?
Yeah.
So for being so
Definitely.
young, because obviously so if I relate back to myself, when I was 14, 15, 16, for me to stay in the gym or lock in,
Yeah.
now it wasn't, the goal wasn't for me to be professional, but even to lock in and stay committed for a few more years,
Yeah.
I didn't do it. I was on the,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the boys
yeah.
or on the streets or doing other things, but you had
Yeah.
that discipline, that laser focus, tunnel vision to,
This is only now that we're having this conversation. I would always be with the guys doing whatever we was doing outside on the road and so on. But it was like I had split personality because I could be there, but I know at 5 o'clock I'm getting off because I got training. Don't care what's going on. Like, whether I shouldn't be leaving or I need to be leaving, I'm going at this time because I've got training. Or I'm going because I'm need to go sleep early because I got a fight on the weekend. And maybe like,
so wait, hold on. So just to pause you there, at that point, did a lot of people back it or back you, or did they think you was wasting your time? And how did you cope, or what was your coping mechanisms
my
for
peers, I've been very fortunate throughout my whole life. My peers have always been very, very supportive. Like, I'm a very, as far as professional boxing goes, I'm very fortunate. Like, it's only, I feel like there's not many people that can sell over 200 tickets to go 2.5 hours away for you people to watch you beat up some idiot. Do you know what I'm saying? So I know I've always been very fortunate in terms of my support network, as in my peers. The people that probably would have doubted me, that would have told me to be real, or you know what I'm saying, that kind of thing, was more so people that weren't so close to me. So I feel like naturally there was doubters, there was people that was saying, that would be questioning my thoughts or my moves, but my immediate people always backed me, always.
And what was the first moment you realized that you was choosing boxing over a normal life compared to all your peers, your friends, everybody else?
Maybe that moment, like on a serious level, like the moment when I got to year 10, 11, maybe that was when I'd been like, all right, no, this is what I'm doing going forwards. And I was probably more so aware, maybe a little bit more mature, but I was aware of the sacrifices and what the potential where I could go and where I might end up with a sport. Like, anytime you commit to one thing in particular, you can reach the stars or you can end up in the gutter, is what it is. I knew that from 15, 16. But I think I had my first fight when I was 8. So it was just, I think, up until the point where I had to make a decision, it was just normal to me. That's just what I was doing.
What was that like, walking out at 8 years of age?
Do you know what? If I'm honest,
lights, camera, action. So
like,
you walking out then.
I don't really, because I was doing it from so young. I don't really feel like this felt normal to me. You know what I'm saying? So then when it came to like my first boxing fight, for example, I thought the camera should be on me. This is my time to shine. Like not even on an egotistical one, but on when I was kickboxing, I won everything bar a world championship gold. So I was that kid. I was young as well, remember? So I was that kid where I'd fight and I'd have the whole venue surrounded the mats watching me fight. So that was like, I thrived in that. That pressure that I'm talking about, that was me. Like, all right, cool. Now I can't mess up. Now I gotta perform.
Okay. And you spoke about sacrifice. If we go back, you spoke about sacrifice. Have you ever looked at it as, I mean, you was quite young then, right? So for me in my career, you know, them moments came up there where people would question, like, I'm sacrificing X, Y, and Z. But for me, I used to look at it as trade. I didn't sacrifice. I traded. I traded time now or, you know, for what's to come later. If you look at trading and how trading works, I'm not going to run a whole topic on it, but I would argue it's questionable whether would you look at it now from a trading perspective. You traded time back then rather than a sacrifice.
Yeah, absolutely. I think from early, I would always look at myself in terms of, I think maybe when I just turned professional, I quickly adopted the mindset of, I work now, you're a long time retired. You know what I'm saying? So if I give up this time now, when everyone's doing X, Y, Z, party and this, that, the other, so be it. I'm going to be retired for a lot longer than I'm young. So that was always my mindset. I'll have more time to enjoy. I'll have more money to enjoy. I'll have a mature mind to enjoy. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, no, I hear you.
it was never a problem to me.
All right, and be honest, right? Early on, were you confident? Were you confident or just stubborn to keep turning up?
I was deluded.
Deluded.
Don't
Explain.
get me wrong. I've always been very confident in terms of what I can do. I've always had a lot of faith in what I can do in terms of performance. But getting to the performance it's not always easy. Like, that's where you have to be stubborn. I think to answer your question, I think it's a blend of the two. Faith starts you, stubbornness gets you through the hard times. Faith, you understand where you're going. I know what I want to reach. I know what I'm going to do. I know what's in me. But, bro, it's the same. It's a conversation of motivation and discipline. No one's motivated every day. But if you're disciplined, you'll turn up every day. And I guess it's the same sort of scenario where you got faith in I'm going to reach my goal. My stubbornness makes me turn up every day.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a blend of the two.
Oh, I hear you.
Because you have to have faith to start the journey. You have to have stubbornness if your journey isn't the typical route you're supposed to do. So the blend of the two gets you started. The faith can see your goal. And like I say, the stubbornness makes you turn up every day.
All right. Let's get into it in terms of being built under pressure. So are you ready to be built under pressure, CJ?
I was born in pressure, man. Give it to me.
For me, first real question is, when did pressure really hit? Not the excitement pressure. I'm not talking about that now. And I know you said you love the pressure and not them moments there. When did pressure really hit? Like real pressure, real weight?
On reflection, when I say I love the pressure, I think it's because I cope with it well. So I learned to enjoy it easy. However, the pressure, when I started boxing, it felt a lot more real because when I was kickboxing, all the people that would turn up and watch, I didn't really know them from Adam. or there would just be people that I know from that industry, or so you only know me for this. Whereas when I started boxing, then my friends started to come to watch that aren't from that same world. Like naturally, I'm getting older. My community is getting bigger. People are now coming to watch, and you're the boxer. So, bro, people think you're Floyd Mayweather, and you think you're Floyd Mayweather. So now, if I do anything less than the best, feels like it's a long way down. You know what I'm saying? So, I think from my first fight as a boxer, I think I was 17. Yeah, I was 17 or 18. I had my first boxing fight. And I remember, so it was at Hinkley Football Ground, and I used to box for a club out that way in Burbage called Heart of England Boxing Club. And I started boxing maybe in the June, and I think my first fight was in September. So it was a very quick turnaround. And I remember boxing at the football ground, but it was like it's in the function room. But how the room was laid out is the rings at the bottom of the room, and everyone's watching you. So and the way it was, the way that you walk to the ring is from the front door, and then you walk past all the standing seats, past all the tables, into the ring, perform. And I remember getting in the ring thinking, oh my days, there's a lot of people here, people in suits and so on and so forth. Like, bro, I'm really here, man. And I thought, if I lose this, I gotta go back to school and say I lost. I went Lancaster Boys. The boys was on you. It was on you hard. You know what I mean? So I thought I can't lose, bro. Then I think that was probably the first time I felt like an immense pressure, because as well, naturally leading up to it, as a little gassed up kid, you tell everyone, yeah, I'm boxing now. I'm a boxer. I'm this. I'm that. Then when it gets to the time where now I've got to perform, now you got to be that. Yeah. You got to be that same person you spoke about. So, fortunately though, for me in the boxing ring, that's where you find out if you are that person that you've been speaking about or not.
Yeah. When you lose in a boxing match, it's not, it's public.
Yeah.
But people don't always question your performance. Yeah. When you're boxing, they question you.
Yeah.
The actual individual, right? Yeah. So over time, boxing stops being something you do and it becomes who you are. So my question is, who were you afraid of becoming? Who were you afraid of becoming if this didn't work, or if it didn't work?
Naturally, I'm not sure if I had so
there must have been a moment.
So in that, I'm afraid of failing. Straight up, I'm not shy to say I'm afraid of failing. So if I put my name, which is why if I put my name to something, I'm doing it 100. So then the whole idea of me not achieving what I set out to do, it was scary as hell. So
just to pause you there, what would that have said about you in that moment in time?
In what if I didn't reach my goal? In my mind,
everything.
In my mind, I built it up to be like, bro, what even are you? Worthless. Like I was so dead set that it's this or you're a bomb. That was it. So and for me, bro, being a bomb scares me, innit? So, I had to go hard. But then, so I've had 17 wins, 1 loss. Yeah, my 1 loss now is the only fight I talk about in terms of growth. The fight, like everything. You know what? Actually, I don't even necessarily talk about it from a boxing perspective. I talk about it from a life, a mindset, everything other than boxing. Boxing, like, you're good. You have your days. Some days you don't have your days. But that one moment where I lost, that taught me a lot about myself. I seen a lot. I started seeing things through different lenses. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but
I feel
because that one moment when I lost, that's what I've spent 10 years dreading. That's what I've spent 10 years scared about. I remember I went I went to Audi with my sister, right? Bless her, she didn't leave my side. That's my dog. She didn't leave my side. She was like, "Come, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go Audi. You need to come with me." Cause I was ready to not leave the yard. Like, I was like distraught. With him, I felt I'd let myself down, and then I'd let everyone else down. You know what I'm saying? So
but
obviously,
just to pause you there, that there, everybody else
yeah,
and yourself,
yeah.
that's a lot of weight.
I've
to
always,
carry.
I've always carried that. I've always thought that like I've got to do this. For me, my mindset is I've got to do this so I can help you. I've got to do this so I can put on for other people. So naturally, when I lose, I'm thinking, bro, I've let so many people down. So this particular day really changed my perspective because I went to Audi with my sister, and I'm there, I'm walking around, I'm saying, yo, everyone's looking at me. She's like, why do you think anyone's even looking? Why do you think anyone cares about you? And I was like, no, look. Bro, Audi's full of 60, 70-year-old people. She was like, why do you think anyone even knows you lost? Like, for me, I had to take a massive look at myself and swallow
Just on that note there, how long ago was this? And how old was you at this point, or how
this
into your
was
career? For everyone that's
2000
watching now,
I was 28. So yeah, I was 28.
so as a grown man,
Grown man.
28.
And listen, I thought I was a grown man since I was 17. And I've constantly been humbled through my whole life. Throughout my whole 20s, it's, yo, I'm a big man. Then I'm like, oh, I'm not so big. Then I'm a bigger man. Oh, I'm not so big. So that, and this was definitely, I actually believe, like I say, bigger than boxing, this moment probably changed my life forever. I delved into myself heavy. I reinvested in myself heavy from a mentality perspective. I read a lot. I learned a lot.
Wait, hold on. Before you go into that that gap there, that time frame and that gap, how long was that time frame? How long was that gap?
So
That window before you're gonna go into some of the stuff that you did. Maybe this is some of the systems or frameworks or what you're
I
gonna.
think, if I remember rightly, it was December the 7th or December the 9th. One of those 2 days. That's when I lost. Then a week after I went away, see my friend in Spain. I spent a couple of days there, came home. Very quickly, listen, God bless my coach. My coach saved my life, I think. So I very quickly rolled into another fight that was scheduled for the start of March, which was only, at this point, 3 months away. My coach would come to my house repeatedly, multiple times a week, checking on me, make sure I'm cool, bring me food, talk to me. So then, when he said, "Oh, there's this fight, this show on this day, do you want it?" I was like, "No, bro. That's the last thing I wanted to do. The last thing I wanted to do was get back on the horse and crack on." But out of my love for my coach, because I love that man like there's no tomorrow, bro.
Hodge,
But
right?
yeah, Hodge. The things that Hodge has done for me is not even like not even from a materialistic perspective, but that man is genuinely shaped my life completely different. And I believe he's been a big part to play in the man I am today as well. So out of that respect and love for Hodge, I said yeah. And I think let's say maybe maybe the camp was 8 to 10 weeks. I'd say for let's call the camp 10 weeks. For 8 weeks, I wasn't doing it for me. I was doing it for him. And then the last 2 weeks, I remember pulling up at the gym and I thought, yeah, man, you're back. And nothing happened. Like, I didn't have a sick session, or I didn't, like, there was no penny dropping moment. There was no penny dropping moment, but I just knew, like, yeah, man, mentally I'm here now. Whereas if Hodge didn't have faith in me, because I knew he had faith in me that I could get in and perform again and again and again. At that moment, he had more faith in me than I had in myself. So I rose to the occasion, and that was probably the most dialed in performance I've ever had in my whole life that day. And I think that is how I overcame that scenario, just by getting back on the horse. In a general sense, I overcame it by taking the first step.
And how hard was that? There's a saying, isn't it? It's easier said than done.
For sure. I would say that.
For those people at home, maybe there's some people there that can relate. I mean, I spoke to one or two. I spoke to you already. I'm not going to drop names.
Yeah.
I spoke to you already. That were one or two boxers that I've been speaking to across the Midlands that are not where they want to be.
Yeah.
Whether it's they've got that, responsibility, pressure.
Yeah, one circumstance
pressure.
or another. Boxing's a hard game. It's a hard game, and you've got to be built different to even embark on the journey. But yeah.
So let's go back there. So when you had that loss there, how lonely was you?
Bro, I literally.
And was you in your own head? Was you in your own thoughts? And if so, what was going through your head? How long?
I think it's a weird one because I was lonely, but I had a lot. But like I said from the start, my community, my support network is always been great. Like, if it wasn't for my immediate support network, I'm not sure I'd be where I am, the man I am. You know what I'm saying? They've shaped me a lot. So I was alone in terms of in my own head, but if my steps forwards are coming out of that, I was never alone. So I'm very fortunate. But it's a very rare circumstance to be in.
Okay, let's put it in a different situation. What about how lonely is for people, for us to understand? So between fights, how lonely is boxing between fights?
Yeah, no. From that perspective, when I say I wasn't lonely, I'm talking about emotionally, because I had people to lean on in this moment. But however, boxing is the loneliest place in the world, bro. It's you versus you constantly. Whether you're training, whether you're fighting, whether you're resting, it's all on you. And when you get in that ring, it's me or you, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So there's no calling the guys to back you up. There's no running off. I've got to go that way, and you're coming this way. Whoever comes out on top.
I ran a meeting in work the other day, and it was about running. You got to run towards the fire. You got to embrace challenges, face challenges head on. And if you want success, or if you want to move the needle, get from A to B, you've got to run towards the fire. And I know that's what boxing is.
Yeah, for sure.
You're forever running towards the fire.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, from a pressure perspective, I've not done everything in the world, but I would bet my bottom dollar that there's not many places that's more pressurized than in that ring. So when you gotta step up to the mark.
On that, so in the press, let's go to the ring. I have a bit of ring talk there. So Yeah, what pressures? List the pressures. What pressures would you list?
There's pressures
Or that you personally went through, or that you know other boxers or fighters go through from the minute you step into
you know
that
what
ring?
outside of actually what goes on in the ring, because everyone knows when you get in the ring, it's the pressures of, oh, I gotta win, I'm gonna get smacked in the face, I'm gonna smack him in the face, I don't want to get knocked out, and everyone knows that. But what people don't talk about is boxing is a very selfish sport. But to be successful, you have to be selfish. You have to be so immersed in in what you're doing and your own path, that, because the same way you're in the ring worrying about, I don't want to get knocked out, it's only you that's in there. So if I don't tick every box outside the ring, I've only got myself to blame. The fight that I lost, I didn't tick every box that I was supposed to. On reflection now, I thought I was, because I was physically there, but mentally I wasn't present. When I watch the fight back here, I look at myself walking to the ring and I think, who's that? It doesn't even look like me. So that, like I say, I've been on the same story from the fight. I lost to the better man on the day, right? But that wasn't me. So it just goes to highlight for me, there's so many boxes that need ticking outside of the physical aspect of boxing that I don't think people appreciate or understand. So when you get in the ring and you think, all right, cool, I'm not chasing a stable life. I'm not chasing a normal life. Everyone else's life has to go on hold for me and this moment here. So say you've got a wife and kids, you've got mortgage, you've got bills to pay. Everyone has to stop because of you, because you want to chase this one thing. So if you've not got a good network that believes in you, if you've not got enough drive, if you've not got the confidence to stand on that and be like, yeah, cool, I'm gonna risk it all, it's not a nice place to be at all. There's a lot of guys out there that I would say the vast majority of boxers lose money boxing. That's how crazy is that? But then you look from the outside and you see the guys on the TV and you think, these men are millionaires. So I'd say 1% are, but listen, the guys who are fighting on the road are the guys with the money, not the prospects. Unless you've got different circumstances, sponsors backing and so on. It's not an easy place to be. And as well, one thing that I think now, coming from a more mature perspective, my age, my experience, whether you like it or not, boxing is an ego-driven sport. Yeah. So that also means that you hide a lot of the pressures, you hide a lot of the sacrifices, the things that you get in the ring with. You might have your whole camp thinking, I can't afford to get to tomorrow, but you do, and then that weight then bears on you for when you get in the ring. Sometimes one day that weight might be too heavy, and you might misperform in the ring, and then before you know it, your whole life's gone like that. Because we're in a very fickle world right now, so you're either popping or, like I said earlier, you're a bomb. So you can go from hot topic to not even spoke about, no one cares about you, like they're on to the next. One thing I realized as well about boxing, because I used to take everything so personal. One day I realized, like, bro, if you walk out the door today and leave this behind, another CJ walks in the door tomorrow, humble yourself. Who cares about you? You know what I'm saying? On the grand scheme of things. So, and that's just.
I'm smiling because, again, even in my line of work, everybody's replaceable, and that's what
This is it.
Anybody can be replaced.
This is it. And I mean, I'm talking from a boxing perspective, but like I like to say things. I find it very easy for you to say. If you used to talk to me about sales, I can take that experience very easily and apply it to my life wherever I want to apply it to. But I talk about boxing because it's a prevalent experiences that I have right now. But everything that happens to me in boxing, I believe I can change people's lives. Whether you're a boxer, flipping dancer, you're a builder, you're an accountant, I believe I can make these lessons apply to you. So I'm just talking about boxing now,
Yeah.
because on a personal one, but these lessons go so far, so much further than boxing.
No, of course, yeah. That's exactly why, we needed this podcast. Built under pressure is just looking at it from different angles.
Yeah, for sure.
Looking at it through a different lens. But even everything you're saying there, there's a lot of pressure stacking
Yeah,
moments.
yeah. I guess it's not even until we're having this conversation that I'm really starting to recognize where the pressure is coming from and how many pressures there are. And maybe just because you find it normal doesn't mean it's not a pressure.
Your body's look. There's a lot to come. Like, I'm not gonna go into everything now, and I'm no one to, start teaching it. But the reason for Built Under Pressure is because of snippets of my American journey and
for sure.
everything. Even my childhood and being from, let's say, one of the most deprived areas of Leicester City, council estate, single mum background. I've faced pressures my whole life, and I become accustomed to it. It was normal. Like it was, so that again, I didn't know there was no language for it. There was no pressure literacy. Like there was nothing for it. And then going into a sales role and being in sales for 13, 14 years, then expanding to Ireland, coming back, going to the US, coming back. I knew it was nothing to do with my skill. It was nothing to do with, there was something going on and I didn't know. And it was all of the different pressures, that actually, just come together. They all compressed together. It's like a computer. You open up 50 tabs on a computer, eventually what happens to that computer?
Yeah, it starts going slow.
It starts going slower, etc. So for me, I went through a lot of body and mind over like system overload.
I think this is something that's probably not understood as much as well.
It's definitely not understood.
Not even spoke about as much. Like you said, the body and the mind. The mind, honestly, is so important. And I think, like I said, bigger than any job, bigger than any sport, if your mind's not correct, it's an uphill battle. So I really believe, especially, I don't know, maybe the point I'm at in my life, the reinvestment on your mind, your lessons, your growth, always being teachable, to do with your mental is so important. Because, bro, my head's been in the bin. It's all of us have. But how you overcome and how you move forwards is what's key.
Oh, you're right. Let's go back to what you were saying. Most people don't actually realize this, that most boxers aren't rich.
Yeah.
Number one.
You're
expected to train like a professional.
Yeah.
Do everything that a professional does, yet you don't get paid like a professional. And how much money pressure were you under? So if you want to, it's up to you if you want to talk. How much money pressure were you under while still having to stay sharp?
It's one of those, because you have dreams, and I don't know, like, just back to my delusion, I believe I have a massive potential in whatever I do. So I also, with that also comes the fact that I understand that if I was to do this and it was making money quickly, I understand that I have potential to do great in that. But so when running them kind of thoughts alongside not making a lot of money from boxing, like I say, I was always very fortunate because I have a great support network. So how boxing works is, on the small hall show, unless you're on wages or you're on a big TV show or signed to a big promoter, majority of the fights go off ticket sales. So for me, being able to sell a lot of tickets kept me afloat.
Did money ever question you carrying on then? So was there points throughout your career?
No, but I think this is my stubbornness, because I could have been on negative and I don't care, because this is what I'm doing. I really believe in what I'm doing. And if I really believe in what I'm doing, there's no amount of money, there's no amount of circumstance that could stop me from driving forwards for what I want. Maybe to my detriment sometimes. And that's something I've had to learn as I grow up.
Yeah. So you touched on this earlier, and which was more around other people, right? So, you know, at some point it stops being about you. Yeah. Because there's, you know, your family, your friends, loved ones, you know. That's a lot of weight to carry.
Yeah.
Right. So who were you fighting for? And who were you fighting for, and who were you scared of letting down?
In my mind, I was scared of letting my immediate family down. I've got a very close knit family.
I see that. I see that on social.
Yeah, so I was scared of letting them down. Not that it all rode on me, because like everyone's gonna do what they're doing anyways. My family have all got a very similar mindset to me, but I took it upon myself to be like, nah, it's all or nothing. It's you gotta do this or no one's gonna eat. So I was scared of letting my family down. But I was scared of more so in letting my family down in the sense of how we're gonna live. That was never gonna be a scenario. But in my mind, that's what I'd built. And then I was also scared of letting all my people down as well. Like for me, in my mind, it's all right, cool. I'm gonna become a world champion. I'm gonna make millions of pounds, and everyone's gonna be cool. There's not anyone in my circle is gonna be all right now, and that's what I would carry with me. Whether it's true or not is irrelevant. But yo, you make these scenarios up in your mind, and whatever gets you up out of bed in the morning. You know what I mean?
No, I hear. And let's look at it like we're not even talking about one hard night right now. We're talking weight cuts.
Yeah.
We're talking everything that you have to go through.
Yeah.
So all of the protocols, everything that you need to go through as a boxer.
The fight's the easiest bit.
Yeah, that's the easy. But there's a lot of long days, long hours, long weeks, everything that you have to go through, injuries.
Yeah.
Travel.
I don't think I'd say the majority of boxers, if not every boxer, gets in the ring with some sort of injury. No, my question is, what did living in? No, it's cool. What did living in that constant cycle do to you mentally? It's only now that I'm probably realizing it, but it makes me.
We're building under pressure.
Yeah, it's hard. It's harding me off. So I don't care what's going on outside. Like, for example, let's say I'm driving to Nottingham right now. Yeah, my car breaks. I get a flat tire. I'm getting to Nottingham, regardless. So that has probably come from the constant up and the down of, I don't know, being in camp. And like my last fight, I wasn't even passed off by the boxing board until I was fighting on the Saturday until the Monday. So no, Tuesday. So now I'm 4 days away from fighting, yeah, and I don't even know if I'm gonna be allowed to box. And if I can't box, then am I gonna be able to get all my people's ticket money back to them in time? So now have I just robbed everyone? Do you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So like, there's so many things to it, but sorry, I started rambling on. My point is, what I got from the constant up and the down is that the show goes on. We still gotta do what we gotta do, regardless of the scenario.
Did it ever feel like it ever stopped?
Nah, never. Never. It's always something. There's always something that's wrong. And for me, I'm quite good at masking. So the whole world could be falling down, but I'm gonna stand strong. And like I say, these are realizations that I've probably only had over the past 3 to 4 months. Like I've actually really understood and really come to terms with why I am the way I am and so on.
All right. And what are you going through now? Obviously, we spoke offline. Let's say anyway, but for everybody that kind of don't know, I mean, I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to share,
Yeah.
what it was, some of the biggest pressures or areas that you're focusing in on right now.
Right now, dealing with a potentially career-ending injury. Dealing with what life looks like without boxing. I've doubled down on this. I've banked my whole life on this. So dealing with the potential pivot, dealing with the pressures of, all right, but there's still people that rely on you, or there's still people that adopting the same mindset of, oh, I've got to do this for whoever. But now the way that you set out to do it is potentially now not ever going to be possible. Now, what do we do? How do we get there? So yeah, like that's why I say in the past couple months I've learned a lot about myself. I've been forced to look at myself from a different perspective. So yeah.
What happened? So let's go back. So what happened?
Like I said, boxers always carry injuries. So carrying an injury is nothing. So I'd say that my last couple fights, I've known something's not right. A couple incidents during camps or during fights just weren't right. And I knew deep down something's wrong with me, definitely. And then last year I went to Spain, 2 hour flight, easy. I'm a good flyer. It was the most uncomfortable I've been for 2.5 hours. And I was like, as soon as I landed in Spain, I thought I need to deal with this. I can't like skip around it anymore. Anyway, got back, went to see someone, 1 appointment, 2 appointment, 3 appointments, and then yeah, long story short, the neurologist says to me, "I'm surprised you're not paralyzed." I says, "Huh?" And he says, "Listen, if you want your kids to be pushing you around in a wheelchair, then I'm not sure what you want to do from here." So yeah, that's a big moment for me.
Let me pause you there. That moment, what was going through your mind?
I didn't believe him. I just thought, whatever, man. I got a fight lined up. I had a fight lined up. This fight that was gonna be it for me. This was my coming out party. This is where I was gonna go. I'm gonna go into this fight, be outstanding, the best I'd ever been physically, best I'd ever been mentally. I'm gonna get into this fight, blow this kid out the water respectfully, and I'm gone from here. So like for me, back to my deluded mindset, I was like whatever, man. I'd come to the next appointment and I'll show you that everything's all right, and then we'll just crack on like normal. And obviously it wasn't that. Don't get me wrong, I still beat the odds. I still thought I was still a lot further along than where he expected me to be. But yeah, forced me to take a couple steps back, look at life from a different perspective.
And when was this?
This was November 25. Yeah, so we're 2 months away.
So what, 2 months? Two months ago. So
yeah, it's been a long 2 months.
Talk us through the last 2 months. Like you said, you put your whole life on it, everything, all them delusional thoughts, all of the calculated choices, the calculated risks, systems, process, everything that you've put in. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
The last 2 months. So talk us through it.
All right, so immediately off the back, going back to what you said about being stubborn, that has kept me afloat because I'm very obsessed with the fact of, all right, cool. If a lot of athletes, when something goes wrong for them, they turn to drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling, whatever it may be. And I'm obsessed with the idea that that will never be me. And I will overcome. So, like I said, some ways it might be to my detriment. Right now, it's saving my ass, saving my backside. So, for me, it's all right. Cool. What's next? How do I deal with this? How do I manage this? And how do I overcome this? So, hence why when I went away from the appointment, came back. So that the time between the appointments was 3 months. When I went back, he said, "You're where I would expect you to be in 12 months or plus, in 3 months." So I was like, to me, anything's possible now. You know what I mean? But also, then the reality is, all right, cool. You're getting older. Life is going on. Sport is a short-lived career. Do you have to pivot? And that's the stage I'm at now. Finding myself, refinding myself. It's weird because I've had to relearn who I am. I've always been able to juggle 5 things and do them all at 100%. But when it comes to boxing, you can do that. You can do that, and that's it. So then,
Who was the first? If you don't, let me stop. Who's the first person that you told, or that you spoke to?
about my mum, I says, "Raw, what am I gonna do now, mum?" Yeah.
Was that an emotional moment for both of you? I'm guessing she's been a very supportive.
My mum's very level-headed. She's very wise. She's very experienced. And my mum is, like I said, how my relationship with my sister is. My mum's my dog as well. You know what I mean? So I sometimes I can just bell her and be like, "What do you think about boom boom boom?" And we can talk like, I don't know. I trust her experience and her opinions. So and she grounded me very quickly, in the way I needed to be grounded. So which in turn led me to having energy to focus in the right direction.
So based on all of this, what pressures are in front of you right now,
What's next?
and what's next? Yeah, because again, I can't imagine what you're going through, even though you've given us some
Yeah,
snippets here
I
and there.
mean-
But
I
like, what's
mean-
next for CJ based on that news?
Greatness regardless. I I will I will achieve greatness in whatever shape or form it is. I will.
On that, what did that environment, so the whole boxing environment, force you to become, and is it set you up for the next chapter?
For sure, it's definitely set me up for the next chapter. I think boxing has enhanced what I am. I think boxing, my work ethic is, I'm a savage. There's not many people, bro, that I would hand on heart say work harder than me. If I put my mind to something, that's one thing I know about myself. Humbly as well. I'm always open to learning. I'm always open to growing. But one thing about me, bro, if I'm gonna be a bin man, I'm gonna be the best damn bin man there is.
So you put 100% into anything
Everything,
you do.
everything. So yeah, just to go back a little bit when you was talking about like what how I was after that, hearing that I'm potentially my career's done. So then quickly, I was going to Dubai, and I think that trip, I was there for 10 days, and I think that trip genuinely came at the right time. I was around the right people, and there was I had a conversation. So, um, there's a run club in Dubai called the Collective 365,
Yeah, yeah.
and there was the day that I was leaving. So I'd went there 3 times during my stay. The day that I was leaving, I went in the morning, and I had there's a conversation that I had with the two guys that started the run club, Kane and Naz, and them two brothers there. The way that they relayed things to me, the way they made me look at things. Because prior to this, my whole thought was, forget anything to do with sport. I'm not doing nothing to do with sport. I'm not doing nothing to do with anything that's even slightly close to boxing. I was angry, bro. So I was
I
anything
was
that
just
was
about to say why.
yeah.
What happened?
I was fuming. Like, I had no, like, I wanted to look after myself, my body naturally. I think that's in me. But I was fuming about everything, like almost on like a why me kind of thing. You know what I mean? So then the conversation that I had with Kane and Naz on the day that I was leaving Dubai, bro, honestly changed my life. And I don't know if these man wouldn't probably won't know this now until they potentially see this. But that the conversation that we had on that morning there, it was a Thursday morning, it was about 6 a.m. Bro, them man's changed my perspective for life, bro. So hold tight the bros them. But genuinely, I think the energy that I came back with, my drive, my
Your overall state.
my overall state, it's just changed. I feel accepting. I feel ready for what's next. And whatever is next, I'm the same approach that I've always had. Let's have it.
A boxing attitude. All right, and look, just to finish up, then, what tips, or lessons have you got for some people at home overall on being built under pressure and living life in one of the world's most pressure?
Something that this is a lesson separately, but something that I've been telling people recently, because I'm someone through my career have had tons of ideas, either not being able to act on them or being scared to act on them, and I've held myself back. Just take the first step, and everything unfolds from there. Advice for people under pressure: listen, pressure makes diamonds.
Pressure makes diamonds.
If you want to get to anywhere above, in fact, it's not. If you just want to survive in this life, you gotta deal with pressure. So it is what it is. Look at it for what it is, and it's something that you're going to have to overcome. It's something you're going to have to do. Sometimes we can be too soft, and I'm all for the soft approach. I'm all for a hard approach and rare, yeah. But some scenarios, you gotta crack on, bro. That's it. It depends. Obviously, like I say, it's scenario dependent, but pressure is something that's gonna come from every walk of life. Yeah. So you will get used to it.
Nah, yeah. It humbles you. I
For
say
real.
pressure doesn't make you pressure doesn't make you special.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you honest.
And one thing that I've learned as well, just off the back of you saying it humbles you, is that one thing I've learned recently, I've had to take a massive humble pill, because, listen, what you want to do, the world don't care sometimes. So if what you want to do doesn't work out, bro, be humble enough to accept that can happen to me. All right, cool. We got to switch lanes. We got to skip round the wall. Or, do you know what I'm saying? It's not always just how did this happen to me? Dead end. It's not that. There's always a way around. You know what I'm saying? in whatever shape or form it is.
Look, CJ, man, it's been emotional, you know, and again, you know, you're one of the first, you know, to come on this journey with me, you know, and being built under pressure. And it's about decisions, the way you think, the way you lead, the way you respond. You know, a lot of people react and they're in a comfy, you know, situation, or they take the comfort over pressure. And as you said, pressure makes diamonds. And I think everyone's heard of that, you know. So I just want to say I appreciate you. Thank you very much for coming on. Thank you very much for being transparent, honest, authentic, and staying true to you. And I wish you, you know, all the best. Happy New Year. Here's to 2026. And as you said, let's have it.
Let's have it.
Yeah. Listen, thank you, brother. Yeah. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much, brother.